Personally, I really get a lot out of the retail track. There's been a lot of good content in the last few years. Is there anything new this year for it?
The tracks are all great, but I think the thing that our participants forget is you don't have to just go to one track. You can move between them. And I would encourage them to do that and maybe go into some things that you don't deal with every day. Go over to the cannabis track or the produce track or perhaps the traditional food tracks that tend to be a little more manufactured foods focused, and go learn from those and see what's happening in those areas.
And I heard tell that we still have a body art track.
We do have a body art track. The agenda is not quite complete with our body art, but it's coming along. That track will be robust as always. I suspect they'll be talking a little bit about the new guidance document that FDA has put out for comment and where that's at, along with MOCRA, which is really working on doing some regulation of the ink industry.
Interesting. We've got lots of different content for making choices for track sessions on. How are we dealing with those?
Monday is going to have a number of tracks, two general food tracks, a retail food track, a cannabis track, and also a produce track. And most of them will come together for the last part of Monday for another technology session where we get hands-on to touch, feel, and see things. One of the things that we're actually going to have there is, for those of you that have spent some time with ice cream and frozen dessert machines, we're going to have one there that you can see, touch, and feel, and actually look and see how one would clean that. That's a common question that I think we all get, is how does one actually clean this, and what are the challenges there? Taylor is going to bring in one of their ice cream units that's very common in amongst the retail environment and spend some time with that. So I think that'll be a great, valuable thing. We're also working on several robotics options and securing those right now, but I've looked at several products out there. We haven't finalized all of them. I am really hopeful we can get the 3D food printer. That is the one I've been taking a look at. It's now in production in a handful of environments in the US, and it's pretty cool. Something that I think many will see. And frankly, coming to college campuses near you, that's one of the areas that it's somewhat frequently deployed in, often to produce foods for folks that have allergies. So it works very well in that environment. So something new to see. Otherwise, there's lots
new to sample too.
Oh, potentially, yes. Yeah, and I don't know, but that is one thing that I have not got to see in person yet. So I'm pretty excited by the opportunity to see a 3D printer really work and what this might look like. In addition, we're going to be doing some really cool things between the other tracks. When you look at it, there's something for everyone. And I even forgot to mention there's a whole outbreak track also. So lots of great things going. I'll just highlight for a second the retail track. On Monday, they're going to spend a lot of time on program standards and talking about, okay, now we've done really well and we've met these standards. How do we sustain them? And really moving the conversation to the next spot is one area. I also think on produce, there's a great session on controlled environment agriculture. So in other words, those growing within buildings and other types of structures. And what does that do? And how does that change? And what are the food safety risks there? So I think that session is going to be a wonderful thing. And I should note one other interesting thing on produce that kind of goes across lots of different areas. They're also going to have a very good discussion on mushrooms, spending some time on mushroom cultivation and then the crossover between the produce regulatory side and the retail regulatory side as it relates to mushrooms, because that is a little bit of a challenge. So an area that is common up there for questions. So I think all of those will be great. It'll be a really good day on Monday, just to give you a few things that we're bringing together.
Yeah, the edible mushrooms, not to get confused with the cannabis track that we're talking
about. Well, or the psychedelic ones that are now legal in a few states. No, it is the edible mushrooms, hopefully edible. That's probably the conversation topics also, as we know. But no, so it's going to be a good track.